It'll help if you unmute the mic, man. Welcome back to No Cap. You can see just another day. Gotta get this mic situated, man. We good? We good. Had the mic muted because boys watching Boondock Saints. I ain't gonna hold you. Willem Dafoe is like, to me, like white Giancarlo Esposito. Them two right there, they can't do no wrong. They batting 100. If you put one of them in the movie, in the show, 10 times out of 10 it's gonna be quality. It's wonderful. You ain't never seen the Boondock Saints, you tripping. And if you ain't seen it recently, go back and watch it again. 1 and 2 movie is crazy. But again, welcome back to No Cap, man. Getting back to it every day, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Tapping in, having this conversation, man. Really, I want to do it at this time just because the best time to unwind, man. You've gone through your day, experienced everything that you pretty much going to experience for that day. All the responsibilities are typically already settled, handled, And you still got the mental wherewithal to be able to communicate and self-reflect upon what happened. So I really like that time space because you can do it early in the morning, but morning time, something to pop up, and then whatever you conversing about, you got to switch topics and you got to pivot. You can do it later at night, but by that time, folks be in the bed or be distracted with, do it in the afternoon. Folks ain't really tapping in the afternoon, man. At afternoon time, I ain't really trying to have no conversations. I need distractions to either get me to the next part of the day or to help me from what just happened early in the day. So I like this sweet spot for me. Story time, man. I don't know if it's just me, because all I can do is get my perspective, but it's something about people being too lazy to look things up for themselves. It just irritates me. Like, if you're having a conversation and you hear somebody with some facts that juxtaposes their perspective, they hit you with and where you see that from? And like, you can research it the same way I researched it, but if I'm in the mood, I'll cite my source or give it to you. Majority of the time, them folks don't really care where you got that from. It's just more an offense that you disagree with me. But we're in the world of smartphones where information is everywhere. Folks is creating fake photos of themselves dressed as cowboys and cowgirls, or laying on the bed with screen behind them, but too lazy to look something up for themselves. And you ain't even got to type it no more. The phone set up where, bow, tap that thing one time, speak whatever you got to speak, ask whatever you got to ask, and the phone will show it to you. AI summarize it for you. They'll give you all the links to answer every different perspective, or give you all the context that you require. Give you papers that people have written on it. Give you images of what this looks like. And folks still won't look it up, won't research for themselves, and still want you to do the learning for them. The baby pigeon process of I want you to go catch it, bring it back, chew it up for me, then regurgitate it down my throat. One of the quickest ways to trigger me, because you're just lazy. And they say a lot. You out here not even living life. You just coasting, letting shit happen. Letting it happen to you, letting it happen around you. Just indifferent, uninvested. Just a shell, zombieing through life. It's gross. Or you got the folk who on the other end who, man, I don't care what you say. I'm going to disagree with it anyway. I'm going to piss you off. I'm going to make you do all of this work just for me to go, man, I don't care. Telling you, I've had multiple conversations with folk who I'm going to argue you down. And when you keep giving me information, I'm going to get more emotional and I'm going to try to argue you down. Where a simple conversation is going to turn into an argument because my opinion matters more than anything else. But I'm going to still ask you to research just so I can disagree with you anyway. That is some grade A bitch assness. And when you come across grade A, USDA approved, just grass fed bitch assness for your own quality of life and for your own frame of mind, communicate that this is grade A bitch assness and then move on. But if you really invested and you really upset, just cut them folk off, bro. The sad part about life becoming a representation of social media is you got the freedom to report, unfriend, and block people at all times, at every turn. You got to start doing that in real life too. Let me go ahead and let everybody know you full of shit. Let me distance myself from you and move around from wherever you at. And then let me delete your existence from my frame of mind. Not the experience or what I heard. I'm going to keep that. But you, the person who brought me that introduced that into my life, you got to go, cuz. Because you clearly don't give a fuck about nothing that matters. You just doing shit. But on to the next thing, man. The topic of the day is the topic of the day. And I know it's not something that a lot of people like to actively talk about or acknowledge, point out, because they indulge themselves. But you got to be real, got to be honest, got to be direct. Folks got a substance abuse problem. And a lot of the titles for my shit, or a lot of the titles for these episodes, are direct quotes from stimuli that I've experienced in life, where might be a song, might be a movie, might be a phrase, might be a joke. But don't take it literally. Most of them are analogies. And this one is an analogy too, because substance abuse goes way beyond just drugs. I mean, I wouldn't say way beyond. That's a little dramatic, but it's more than just drugs to be addicted to. But substance abuse is mainstream as hell. I said it in the description a little bit. I'm somebody who's completely sober, where I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't partake in none of them substances. Nah, I'm good. That's what story time should have been. Damn shit. Quick story time, right? When my friends and family used to smoke. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. They want to do it to relax and unwind. I'm like, I'm already relaxed as I'm going to get. Look at my eyes. If I unwind anymore, I might die. Alcohol, same way. Man, we got to get drunk. I'm good. A lot of folk that I grew up with or hung out with or associated with are from college. And in college, folks was smoking weed and they was drinking liquor to fuck hoes. I'm trying to drink with the hoes so I can fuck the hoes. Trying to smoke with the hoes so I can fuck the hoes. I'm gonna get the hoes crossfaded where we doing both so I can knock the hoes down. But the thing about the hoes is they gonna overindulge to the point where they built up a tolerance where that ain't hitting like it used to. You done introduce something to them where they run ahead first through them brick walls to the point they don't feel the high no more. The dopamine release don't come no more. These bitches is brain dead, waiting for the next thing. Why they call weed a gateway drug, man. You can only get so high, and then you chasing it. Then folks start doing other stuff. I'm popping pills. We're doing coke in the bathroom. It started to get crazy, man. All because folks is chasing that high. It was never for me. I'm one of them folk where logic based. What to other people is we doing this substance. The what to me was the hoes. So I went and got my hoes beforehand. So what I look like going to the party get drunk for, I already got mine on deck. And then I learned a lesson early in life, not even from an experience, just taking precautions. Those same substances you introducing can also be used to incriminate. And I learned after the fact that Tupac went through a similar situation where got her drunk, took advantage, got her high, took advantage. I'm like, nah, I want to avoid all of that. Look here, I'm sober. You fuck with me, you sober. If you're not, I didn't introduce nothing to you. Whatever you did, you was outside of my sight when you did it, and then you came to where I was at. Me and you are going to have sexual relations. Is that cool? At any point in time, you can say, no, thank you. The door is open. But here's what it is. Here's what I'm about to do. Cool? Cool. So there's no situations where took advantage. No, I did not. Forced. I did nothing of the kind. This was the situation. It was communicated. You participated. Your participation was voluntary. Completely voluntary. Consensual. Consent. And me being precautious and not wanting to get into any of those kind of situations steered me in a path away from substance abuse. But the folks who weren't thinking that far ahead, they took the other path. And what started as just a hobby or situational use turned into reliance, grew to be a crutch, which is now the only leg folks stand on. Like I can tell you, right? Probably around 2012, 2013, 2014. Fucking beard hair. Had to get this thing cut in a minute. But I ain't trying to impress nobody. 2012, 2014, somewhere in that span, it was post the growth of Wiz Khalifa. Folks started blowing crazy where everybody doing it. It was prevalent before. Folks was messing with Reginald, then messing with Mid, then Perp, and then loud, gas, sigh, all of that blew up. And then it just settled in where it's permanent fixture in life. Alcohol been around since before Prohibition. But just like with everything else, it's trendy, then it falls from the face of the earth. Then the next trend pops up, and the next wave pops up. Folks used to drink Nouveau once upon a time. Folks don't know what Nouveau is. Screwdriver. Carlos Rossi. Sipping on that Paul Le Mousse song like some sweet Kool-Aid. The drink of the day is always changed. Casamigos, Don Julio. There's always something to drink. Always the popular liquor of the day. But at some point it went from we're going to drink it classy, we're going to drink it in a glass, so we're going to drink it out the bottle, to this is my bottle. Where's your bottle? And the substance abuse just blew up where folks are tapping into it and starting to build a false reality where my life is fun because I'm drinking. Nah, your life is fun because you're doing all of these things that you actually enjoy doing when you're drinking. Or shoot, when I get high, life is good. Nah, you just numbing yourself. You trying to distract yourself. Ignorance is bliss, right? Because it's to the point where now there are very few adult functions in which one of these substances isn't prevalent or isn't present. Folk got to add smoking or drinking to everything just to make it fun. Shoot, we about to get together. We gotta get the kids together. Bring something to drink. We about to go out to eat. Shoot, we gonna smoke after and we gonna smoke before. Super Bowl party. Bet. Who got the gas? Family reunion. We're gonna smoke in the car, then go eat. Every adult get together requires some kind of substance now. Because everyday life requires the same substance. Folks is doing it when it ain't nothing going on, so they damn sure want to do it when it's actually a reason to celebrate or get together, congregate, fraternize. But the other side of ignorance is bliss is folks not looking at the cons of what's going on. They honestly not looking at the pros of what they dealing with either. It's just, this is a part of my life. I don't address it. Nobody around me addresses it. It just is what it is. But turn a blind eye to it. Not gonna act like it's involuntary. This is as much a part of my life as my kids are. Paying my taxes, optional. Smoking, mandatory. That substance abuse that took over folks' lives. And I've watched from my youth to today the transformation it's had on loved ones, friends, family members. Seeing who they were before they started partaking in these things, and then seeing who they are now and what's changed about them. And not just one or two cases, I'm talking dozens of situations. Probably upwards of between 30s and 60s of close people that I've known, been close to, hung out with every day, watched the transformation. Why the transformation is occurred and try to communicate concern. Because that's all you can do. You can't force nobody to do anything or live their life any kind of way. But if you're not having a conversation, or if you're not attempting to initiate the conversation, there's no way you can call yourself a loved one at all. Because this is ruining lives. Again, what you do affects other people, and what other people do affects you. We social animals. Cause and effect. Somebody you don't know getting drunk could take a family member. Somebody you've never met being addicted to a substance can get passed down to you through generations. And now you got to deal with the consequences. Minding your business don't help you none. You in a bar with somebody who gets sloppy drunk. They get in their car and they drive off somewhere. You never know who they can go hit and kill. So it is your business. But enough about the perspective, man. It's some research. And of course, you're welcome to do your own, build your own case, your own perspective. I'm not really one that's big on confirmation bias. I'm more so on adopting information and adapting according to the information. And I'm going to say this on the front end. A lot of information will be withheld because the thing about the drug of the day is the companies who sell it will feign ignorance until they've reached a certain plateau of profit. And then all of a sudden a cascade of information will be released. And now, man, you guys need to stop that. They're going to build the addiction, build the demand, try to diminish their supply and maximize their profits before they distance themselves and go, man, there's an epidemic. It's a crisis. There's health concerns about this thing that we sold you 5 to 25 years ago and made billions of dollars off of. And it's up to you to spend your money to now reverse the effects of what we willingly sold you. And before I get into the examples, I want on the board, I put the three most prevalent substances being abused right now. But quick story lesson before I get to them. For the folks who were around and aware of Katie, K2, synthetic weed, it's been that long ago where there's people who never even heard of it, don't know what it is. Before they wanted to legalize marijuana in the U.S., they tried to replicate it and create it in the lab, recreate it in the lab. The unfortunate part about it is they rushed it. Of course, you're trying to chemically recreate something that's naturally found in the world. That's not going to work too well. And then they put it in gas stations because there's nothing more prevalent than gas stations. There are more gas stations than anything else in neighborhoods. So we can spread it about as far and saturate as much of the area as we can with it. K2 was so fucked up. It was immediately altering brain functioning, and folks who were perfectly fine, schizophrenic, almost overnight, severe anxiety, bipolar disorder, all of these mental illnesses and mental disorders were like being born overnight from smoking this synthetic weed. And, you know, usually when they drop the new drug in the streets, they try to wait for it to make a big enough profit before they turn tail and double back as superheroes. But it was so bad and the effects were so extreme. folks had to pull that out immediately because zombies is one thing. It was turning folk manic immediately, where I'm out here pranking out. I mean, like real deal crashing out off of hitting this one time. It was the craziest thing ever. And folks snatched it out. And for the folk who don't remember it, K2, Katie, was like the twin of fentanyl. Because off that fent, you can just die. You ain't got to touch it. You ain't got to ingest it. You just got to be around somebody that was around it and it could kill you. So smoking it, snorting it, injecting it, doing anything with fent, you could just die. See how extreme fentanyl is? Katie was the same way. You touch that shit, you ain't gonna die, but you ain't gonna never be the same. Your brain is not gonna be able to adjust according to what you just put it through. And I'm no scientist, but I have a general rule of thumb that I follow, and it's been 100%. Nothing in life is perfect, but this rule of thumb has always been perfect. This rule that I put for myself has always been perfect. Life is nothing but a series of traumas and your reaction to them. So if you experience something and your brain experiences and acknowledges it as positive, you have a positive reaction. If it's acknowledging it as harmful, it'll be a negative reaction. But once you go through that experience, your brain is basically, okay, here's the information, here's how we process this, here's how we're going to react to it moving forward. Everything that you do, all stimuli is a level of trauma on some scale. Very minuscule or very extreme. Katie, extreme trauma. As extreme as CTE, just boom, hit you, never the same again. Because you put me through something so crazy. The only way for me to rationalize what's going on is to function this way now. Or I simply just cannot function. So this is how we operate now. And the thing about substance abuse is it's not as extreme as Katie is fent. It seems subtle, but it dulls you to the point where when it is extreme, you've already been numbed and you really can't tell the difference anymore. Especially with weed. Some people deal with the experience and it's so traumatic. I immediately felt what it was like, didn't like it. But from majority, nah, it was cool. It was fun. It was funny. It was mellow. And then when you build up that tolerance and you add to that addiction, it becomes harmful and it becomes traumatic. And on the board, what I got behind me is this is the result of that trauma. Shall we look? Got you. Oh. Get me right. We good? Wanted folk to be able to see as much of this as possible, right? So the thing I put at the top, this is, weed used to be the shit. Weed used to be the the end all be all, the most important thing, the most important substance, the most popular substance in the world. But it's been caught up with vaping, vape pens, vape tools. It's the next generation's weed. So they hitting it heavy. But the problem is the next generation, they picking up they drug before their brains fully developed. Most of the drugs of the day are ones adopted by young adults or grown people. This one, it's 8-year-olds doing this shit. 12-year-olds, middle schoolers, high schoolers. Their parents buying it for them. So this one is the most dangerous because it's already in the clutches of the next generation. So they not even gonna be able to make it to be functioning adults. Unfortunately. Kids that partake in this and addicted to this, it's pretty much a wrap. You already stunted your development. The equivalent is like you going through puberty and your feet want to grow, but you wearing small shoes. There's only so much room they can grow. Your toes gonna hit the ends of the shoe, and it's just gonna start curling, twisting, stunting, deforming. Same thing happening to your body when you partake in vaping. What seems innocent, right? Just look cool. I'm hitting this little machine, smoke come out. Just look cool. No, the fuck it don't. It looks crazy, especially when you know what it's doing to you. So I wanted to build this out because anybody can tell you what the pros are to doing any of these things, because the pros are typically the same thing. Why do you partake in any substance? To feel good. I'm chasing dopamine. I want to find pleasure, or I want to escape. I want to find solace. Folks be looking for one or two things when they get addicted to a substance or partake in a substance. They looking for fun or freedom. The unfortunate part is the conversation, and the unfortunate part of the deal is neither is there for you. And what you do find is inauthentic. So you're not looking for real fun and you're not looking for real freedom. Looking for the idea of it. But none with the preaching. Thing about vapes is, I mean, any smoking, if you think about it, you inhaling smoke, genius. Smoke inhalation is the number one cause of death when it comes to fires. Most people don't get burned alive. They die from the carbon monoxide. Inhaling smoke is unhealthy for the lungs. And the aerosol that's used in vape pens scars the lungs. You can Google it right now. There's folks getting put in the hospital from vaping too much, where the vape pens are coating the inside of your lungs in plastic, and it's impossible to remove that. You constantly coughing because you're trying to get the droplets of plastic out of your lungs, but them shits is sticking to the cells inside your lungs, and you can't even cough them out after a point. And then it just spreads and coats and spreads and coats until you got a little plastic replica of your lung on there. And go ahead and get sized for that coughing, my boy. Damages DNA. Again, going back to epigenetics, you vaping, you damaging the cellular structure of your body. You restructuring your DNA. Your epigenetics are cutting on certain traits and cutting off other traits that are in the long term make you unhealthy. and then you passing these traits down into the next generation. So that unhealthy shit you doing, you passing that down to them, and they haven't even gotten here yet. They getting put back. They getting set back on some shit that they didn't even sign up for. Compromising brain functioning. Again, depending on what age you start, you stunting your development. Folks with a lack of intellectual functioning and emotional functioning, your EQ and your IQ, you're not going to be able to develop that because you stunting your brain. Brain's not even fully forming to be able to function. So it's certain processes, thought processes, mental skills that you're supposed to be able to develop. It's going to be impossible because you a smooth brain. The more dimples in your brain, the stronger your brain, the more useful it is. But you got folks with Play-Doh brains, just putty, smooth brain. And you can't even acknowledge them as smooth brains because you got to be politically correct. Nobody can be called stupid. Nobody can be called retarded. All right. Increased risk of heart attack. Again, you smoking, you ingesting these chemicals, and they're restructuring how your body works. Brain functioning is changing. Your cardiovascular system is having to adapt to this. The brain is going to continue to move things and switch things in order to be able to process and adapt to this influx of external stimuli and external chemical release being introduced. You're going to be 24 years old having a heart attack because you vape too much. And you get older, you don't get healthier. So if you done stunted your shit as a teen, and bruh, you supposed to be able to come back from everything at that point. You got folks who, you got lifelong disabilities coming because you sacrificed all the blessings of youth. Vaping is like, you know, people used to spray paint. Just go huff spray paint. Same thing. Only difference is the vape pens are flavored. So go find you a flavor aerosol can of spray paint. Spray it on washcloth. Just sniff that. Getting the exact same effect. But on to the bigger one, the more prevalent one. Not new age, but grandfathered in. Just been here, gonna be here. Man of many names. Man of many names. Excuse me. Gas. Bad, pack, loud, diesel, reefer, grass, ganja, whatever you choose to call it. Lettuce, cabbage, veggies. It's all weed. This is the one that folks used to say, or folks used to use as like the easy out. It seems less intrusive. So folks always try to use other more extreme substances to rationalize this. You smoke weed? Yeah, but at least I ain't smoking crack. You smoke weed? Yeah, but it ain't dog food though. I ain't on no pills. It's natural. On the earth. God gave me that. God gave your dumbass poison ivy too, but I don't see you running around wiping your ass with it. But that's neither here nor there. This is the major one that I watched this shit really take over folk. And they don't even notice the changes a lot of the times. But then you get to a point where they all notice the changes, but they so uninvested in their own lives that they just like, shoot, it just is what it is. I'm not gonna stop. Yeah, it's killing me, but I've already made it a normalized part of my life, so why not? Mm. All of these things I've seen to be true. Firsthand, lived experience from myself, friends, family, or from career paths that I've taken, where working in mental health shelters, working in children's shelters, working with people with mental disabilities and mental illnesses and disorders, and watching everybody in between and seeing how prevalent substance abuse was and introducing them into these alternative low quality of life lifestyles. Well, know and acknowledge, but then try to unacknowledge at the same time. Weed induces paranoia, anxiety, and depression. Folks smoke heavy. They're like, yeah, I don't do certain things or go certain places just because I'm afraid of this crazy event happening to me that very unlikely. I have anxiety. I'm nervous about just random shit happen. I'm stressed unless I smoke. Life the same whether I smoke or not, but I'm dependent on it, so I'm scared to see what it'd be like if I'm not using this. Also induces depression. You high. After a while, you stop getting the dopamine. And then again, of course, your body adapts to it. It starts releasing these chemicals in you naturally because you introducing these external chemicals. So I'm going to keep smoking, and then I'm down and I'm sad and I don't know why. It's because the chemicals in my body that will reverse this feeling of sadness are no longer being released because I smoke too much. And then the lifestyle that I've adopted from smoking too much doesn't lend itself to me feeling any kind of positive stimuli or experiences during the day. And other mental illnesses. Again, everything that you do in life is a trauma that your body is adapting and adopting and rejiggering and restructuring. So when you get to a certain level of addiction or a certain level of introducing this chemical into your body, some can just like that, snap, click, go off, and then you trigger unhealthy brain functioning because mental disorders are just unhealthy brain functioning. Your brain is processing stimuli in a way that you're now reacting and behaving in a manner that is seen as unstable. And of course, you get to the everyday shit. These are like the warning flags that you need to stop that people laugh at because they are already starting to get comfortable with the addiction. People who smoke will openly admit, man, my memory ain't as good. Ha ha ha. And a road memory is a red flag. You can't remember things. That means you're not able to use your brain how you need to. Your brain functioning is starting to recede and deteriorate. And brain functioning loss or loss of memory That's a precursor to dementia, Alzheimer's, where dang, I can't remember what I ate last week turns into dang, where I put my keys turned into who is this person sleeping in my bed? I'm not safe. It also erodes your motor skills. It's openly understood that when you high, you can't move as fast, you can't process information as fast, and you can't react as fast, which in situations could be less than helpful. And erodes emotional intelligence, where folks are more moody, more temperamental, can't control their mood swings. That's a sign of addiction. I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I'm moody, I'm wild, I'm excited. And the only way to temper this is to smoke. Stunts brain development and function. Again, going back to the mental illness, your brain cannot function or process information or process stimuli accordingly, and you develop mental illnesses. I cannot cope or fathom what I'm experiencing right now. So the brain's going to take a shortcut, and now I'm going to behave like this. And then stunts brain development. Again, kids are not learning how to even think, let alone learn. So you got folks who cannot think for themselves and can't learn. Smooth brain just out here coasting, mouth wet, drool running down the side of their face. And the funny part is, if you ever seen somebody who's addicted to weed get around some weed, you can see it, where when they start their process of gathering my paraphernalia, rolling it up or preparing it to be smoked to the point where I'm about to smoke, folks' whole demeanor be stuck until they get done with the process, and it's crazy. So folks who mouth be open when they doing it, they mouth to be open the entire time. Folks who face be like this, their face will be like this the whole entire time till they get done. Whatever they look like or however they act when they start that process is how they look until they end that process. And then it usually don't change until they already ingest or inhale. Craziest shit ever. Lowers testosterone. I know I'm not the only one who see all of these ads. Roll Sparks, honey packs, rhino pills at the gas station, Cialis. What is the damn sayings, boy? Because I don't got the ads on for Google, so YouTube be showing me the same ads over and over. Tadalafil or whatever the two drugs are that they putting together for these dick pills, man. The dick pill market is booming right now. And a lot of it is because folks are either getting older. The older men are already going to have a testosterone issue because live an unhealthy life, don't eat, don't exercise. But it's going within the younger market, and there's a bigger market for it because folks all have substance abuse issues. So you got lower testosterone, which can lead to erectile dysfunction. You're unhealthy. That's why your dick don't work. And you trying to use a pill that'll give you that spark. No, bro, you're unhealthy. It's another red flag that's showing you need to get your shit together. When parts of your body just stop functioning, red flag. Smooth brain. You can't keep your mouth closed. You sit there with your tongue out, drooling on yourself. Your dick don't work. You turn around slow. You in a conversation, you don't pick up what's being said till 2, 5, 17 minutes later or a couple days later. Red flag. It's crazy, folks. It's 24, 31, 49, 16 using dick pills. All you got to do is take your bitch ass to the gym. And, I mean, of course, not abuse a substance. Yeah. Then the higher risk for lung infection, of course, you drying out your cells in your lungs. You need moisture. Without the moisture, you're more susceptible to lung infection, more susceptible to lung damage. And then the last one is openly known. And the crazy thing is, this is the one that's dying down. Excuse me. And it's actually in opposition to the one at the top. The folks who vape heavily, like the next generation that vapes heavily, they don't too much drink. Crazy. Because this one comes before that one. And this generation, far away from this generation. Alcohol leads to infertility. Can't have kids, you're alcoholic. Impotence. Again, low testosterone, erectile dysfunction, too much alcohol. Insomnia, you can't sleep. Memory loss. Your brain is soaked in alcohol. Your brain has its own fluid. It needs to be as pure as possible. Introduce alcohol. Alcohol is, you get alcohol poisoning because it's a poison. You're not supposed to actually drink alcohol. Hard liquor is never, tequila is the healthiest, but you're not supposed to drink hard liquor. Shit is terrible for you. Dementia, again, goes toward memory loss because you damaging your brain. It's poison. Heart and digestive problems. Again, you drinking poison. Cancer. That's what happens when you soak your body full of poison. Weak immune system. And all of this happens when you overindulge in it because, again, your brain is processing, hey, man, we have a whole lot of this substance in our body. I got to find a way to get rid of as much of it as possible and as fast as possible. So I'm going to send some of it over here, some of it over there, some of it over there. I'm going to store it in different places. And I'm going to try to expel it as fast as possible. Shoot, if we can't pee it out, boom, we got to start sweating it out. And can't sweat it out, shoot, it's going to the eyes and it's going to other parts of the body until once you sweat it out, or once you start peeing it out, bet where I've stored it elsewhere, now I can start to pull it out from those storage areas and expunge it as well, or expel it as well. All of them things, completely detrimental. And the sad part about it is a lot of the folk who partake, they know it's detrimental. And the unfortunate part about it is nobody has that conversation with them about it. You know, somebody who partakes in one of these substances, sit down with them. Ask them about the habit, why they picked up the habit. Talk to them about the dangers of the habit. Are they aware and do they acknowledge the dangers that come with their behavior? Do they understand how that behavior affects you? If they say no, learn something today. But then what are you planning to do about it? You just going to continue on knowing that is lowering your quality of life and those around you? If they don't change, that's the lifestyle that they chose. But you have to understand that the lifestyle that they chose puts a ceiling on the quality of life. And often, if you want to improve yours, you got to sever ties with them. Because my connection to you is going to limit my quality of life because you aren't sharing the same interests as me. We're not heading in the same direction. I want better for myself, and you don't care. And if they know, they acknowledge what's going on, they're fully aware of it, and they still celebrate it or acknowledge it or appreciate it, run the fuck away from them. They don't care about nothing. And again, all this goes towards folks who abuse certain substances, not abused. They just seldom socially acceptable. Like with alcohol, there's alcohol in wine. You drinking wine, or if you cook with alcohol, it's acceptable. But vaping, there's not a situation in which vaping is useful or beneficial. Weed is in the middle for a reason, because vaping and no situation. Alcohol depends on the situation. Weed depends on the situation, but these situations affect very few people. Weed is one of those things where if it's the lesser of two evils, you can rationalize it. You played a professional sport, or you went through some kind of trauma that left you in physical pain, then the numbing that comes with addiction to weed is the lesser of two evils than being physically in pain. If you have a physical ailment in which it's the only way for your brain to function properly for you to be able to process the physical ailment, again, it's the lesser of two evils. But if the weed is the only evil, what is you doing? And then the substance abuse, again, it plays into so many other issues going on in life and in the world, where you can't even socialize properly because you don't have the appropriate level of intellect and education amongst the adults that you have to interact with. You're trying to have intelligent conversation with somebody with a smooth brain, it's not going to work. You trying to date somebody with a smooth brain or with a substance abuse issue, see how far that gets you. You've been influenced by somebody who is openly on a light rail toward death, or everybody's seen that picture where it's four people sitting in a tree. Each one of them has a saw cutting at a part of the tree. The folks who abuse substances are the person that's sitting in the tree on the end of the branch, cutting off the end that goes back toward the trunk. I'm going to keep cutting until I figure out exactly what I'm cutting through. And then you would want to end up on your neck dead, talking to God like, damn, how I get here. A lot of flat brains out here, man. It's a lot of people that aren't worth interacting with. There's a lot of things in society that we need to fix that we can't fix because you don't have the appropriate workforce or manpower to do it. You got people here, but you don't got the manpower. They don't have the skills, the wherewithal, or the ability to. Everything going to hell in a handbasket. And no cap. It must be the drugs. It must be the drugs. Yeah.